Hey guys, what's up? My name is Anthony. Welcome to another edition of B&A Sports Talk. So today I'm be battling with a crow. I'm outside, but today I'm be battling with a crow who just wants to squawk. I'm like, can you not? But today what I want to talk about is the wide receiver room for the New York Giants. Kind of talk about it because I was coming up with a list for the most overrated moves by the Giants and most underrated moves. So obviously on the underrated moves, I was thinking about Devontae Booker, Kyle Rudolph, like Azeez Ojulari, because I think it's going to open up him winning one-on-one on the edge. I'm like, that's going to provide so much value because I'm taking a look at Carter Coughlin and Tate Crowder trying to win against left and right tackles. I'm like, that's not really working. But tangent already. But I was thinking about, is Kenny Golladay an overrated move? And then it kind of spurred me to this whole thinking process that I'm about to deliver to you guys. So Kenny Golladay, my projected stats for him, it's going to be 12 touchdowns, 1,300 yards. I have a couple of concerns about him. Now, I think in the red zone, Daniel Jones' rookie year was great, and I think that's really gonna help him his second year to have Kenny Golladay, Kyle Rudolph, and within 20 yards and even 40 yards of the end zone, he's going to be a threat. I could see Kenny Golladay streaking down the field. Now, what I can see also from Daniel Jones, I think they're going to have a good chemistry. But what we can also see at some point is, him tucking it up, and throwing it a little bit short, a little bit. Maybe it's a windy day. He's just like, okay, I'm going to trust Kenny. And sometimes his throws, I've watched the film now. He throws a couple of ducks. I'm not sure if he's driving the ball. He just doesn't have the arm strength. But I've seen a couple of ducks thrown by Daniel Jones. I'm kind of worried about that. Just him throwing the 50-50 balls to Kenny Golladay, and they're really 70-30 balls. But I'm worried about that a little bit, just a little bit. So it's something to keep your eyes on. How many times did Daniel Jones throw it up to Kenny Golladay and it's intercepted or something like that? I don't think much harm is going to be caused by it. I think a little bit more good is going to be than harm. But there's something to look forward to because Kenny Golladay doesn't create a lot of separation. You're not going to see like a Nelson Aguilar or a Mike Williams, is that his name, from the Chargers, streaking down the field. Although I think Mike Williams is a little bit overrated. But you're not going to see somebody like Tyreek streaking down the field. No, he's 6'5". He gets less separation than Golden Tate. Golden Tate had one of those up seam throws that I think Daniel Jones is really comfortable with, right up the middle of the field. Those outside throws, I know he had some good ones to Austin Mack, Evan Ingram this year, but I worry about that, him doing that consistently. That's what I'm trying to say. We say he's a great deep ball thrower, but he only threw 30 deep balls the entire year. Well, if you see Aaron Rodgers, 50, 60 deep balls, it depends what Jason Garrett's scheme is going to be. And, we have so many wide receivers now that Kenny Golladay is going to go have some, mismatches. If we go against a team with bad cornerbacks, or we know our schedule, but a team with bad cornerbacks, I'm trying to think one off the top of my brain, but I can't really, let's say the Bears, because they lost Fuller. All of a sudden, do you have somebody that can guard Kenny Golladay? No. So you're just praying that one of your experienced guys can kind of fool him a little bit at the line of scrimmage, which I don't think will work out. And, yeah, so I think he's going to have around 1,300 yards, 12 touchdowns. He's going to have a decent season. And he replaced Golden Tate. Imagine replacing Golden Tate, our wide receiver one, with Kenny Golladay. That's a great move. That's a significant upgrade. So that's why I can say it's overrated. I was thinking about maybe you could have used it for Dalvin Tomlinson or, some offensive guard money, maybe Joe Tooney. Instead of paying $18 million to him, pay $18 million to Joe Tooney, and you took a look at our offensive line, it's great. That's still think of that a little bit. But Dalvin, especially with the Dalvin situation, we have to rely on Dexter. There's a reason why we drafted in the first round. It's put up or shut up, that type of thing. But I think he's going to be fine. I think he's going to be a top 15 defensive tackle potentially this year. So it's going to be fine. And there are a couple of plays, we saw this past year, that it's just, that play, Kenny Golladay would have caught it. There are a couple, I'll play a couple of them. I'll speak a little bit more about it. But there's Kenny Galladay's coming down with that ball. Now, Slayton's a good wide receiver, but he's not made for that. He's made for that quick game. But I can just see Kenny Golladay snatching over the top of a bunch of these DBs. And, again, notice some of those shorter throws, those throws that are, maybe into the wind or something that Daniel Jones needs to get over the top. But not every quarterback is going to be 100% accurate 100% of the time. Tom Brady's off. Patrick Mahomes throws off balls. But Kenny Golladay is going to make it much more forgiving. Next is Tony. Now, Tony is the icing on the cake. Colin Cowherd used to say, wide receivers are the icing on the cake. The offensive line is the cake. But Tony, when nothing's working, give him the ball, you make something happen. When the offense is stagnant with Jason Garrett, just be like, okay, Tony, try to break something here. Try to have something unique. That guy used to be Golden Tate and Sterling Shepard for us. And then Sterling Shepard's good. Evan Ingram's good. But it's like, okay, they don't seem like huge playmakers. The guys, he's not going to break one and all of a sudden, like Saquon, go down the field and start juking everybody and peace sign, he's out. Tony's going to do a bunch of that. People are talking about, I want to talk about this briefly. People are saying, oh, he's doing second team reps. And this has been kind of beat to death by Giants fans, but so is everyone else. And the thing is, that's good because we have good wide receiver depth. You know, I don't want our first round pick be with the first team. Though, by the way, he doesn't know how practice works. You can do the rookie minicamp all you want, but you don't know how practice works. You want to kind of ease him in. And now there are like a bunch of excuses. He had a family emergency. Sorry, he had a family emergency. Sorry, his cleat didn't fit him. Like, what are we talking about here? Like, let's not overreact. Now, it's something to be a little bit concerned with because of his prior history. I do have a picture of him, like, after practice, like, goofing around. He's known as a goofball. I have a picture of him after a Florida practice, goofing around. That's one of my favorite pictures. I didn't even know. And then he's, like, on the Giants, which is pretty cool. But it's him and Trayvon Grimes, who, by the way, the Eagles cut. But, it's something to monitor. And I think that's all what Giants fans are thinking. Let's think about it. Don't be an Odell, but Tony seems much more energetic. The kind of do-rag thing with the Gatorade towels is a little bit much for me, but it's society. I'm not judging. Just catch the touchdowns, entertain us. That sounds like I'm figuritizing him or like materializing him, but I he's a football player. That's what he's made to do, and he's making millions of dollars for it. So whatever. And so he's gonna do a bunch of kick return stuff. I'm excited to see him, break out plays. Now I don't think people imagine him as like a Tyreek and a guy who's going to be able to juke 50 people. I don't really see it that much. I think it's a little bit overrated in that aspect where people, like, you put a tag on somebody, jukes out people, and you picture him as a guy that's like the best juker ever in history. You picture that guy. You picture Tyreek. Now, he does some of that, but sometimes he does a little bit too finesse on routes, so they're going to hone him in. Joe Judge is going to teach him the technique, and he's a hard worker at practice. And then he's one of those guys, you just teach him as much technique as possible, and then on the games, just let him fly. Let him do his thing. So Joe Judge might have to rein him in a little bit and do a Tom Coughlin, like, hey, what are you doing? Like, to the kicker, kick it out of bounds each time. What are you doing? So there may be a little bit of problem there back and forth, but I think he's going to have 7 touchdowns, 1,000 total yards, and a kick return touchdown, baby. Finally. No, I don't know. But, yeah, David Wilson, a little bit of David Wilson characteristics to him here. I think David Wilson had a better cut and then keeping the speed than what Tony has. Tony's more like a gadget, like quick. We all know what Tony has. Like, we analyze him a lot. And then I also want to mention David Sills, because I took a look at his route running. It's not great, but I've taken a look at a bunch of... Like, you don't have to have the best route runner. Like, people overrate route running. Like, as long as you can catch the ball, you're good. You don't have to be the best... You don't have to be the best route runner in order to be successful in the NFL. And that's what people think. They think that you have to be some sort of like Devontae Adams in order to be successful in the NFL. No, you don't. Like, the offensive scheme will make you open at some point. Now, late in games, you have to be clutch. But still, he's 6'4". If Kenny Golladay goes down, he can fill that type of role. Obviously, he's not going to be 100%. But I was thinking about that. David Sills, he got injured last year. But he got recruited at like 13 years old to USC, so obviously he has a bunch of talent. I just worry a little bit about his separation, like Kenny Golladay. And then if you're thrown in right in, all of a sudden you're going against the best cornerbacks, potentially, and you can get fooled. And he hasn't really had that much experience in the NFL. He's had some snaps with Buffalo, but he's still learning. And then you have Darius Slayton and John Ross. They'll be battling for wide receiver 4. And, man, John Ross always seems like he's injured. Well, I'll just be patient with him. He's one of those guys, like, if we can squeeze any apple out of the orange, any juice out of the orange, it's like, yeah, that's great. And I'm not really expecting much. They're going to be, like, 300-yard guys, they're going to have a touchdown, a clutch touchdown one time, or maybe they'll have 2 touchdowns in a game, and we'll be talking about them. It's like, oh, wow, John Ross. And then he'll disappear for a couple weeks. They'll have their spots. But the fact that Darius Slayton was our wide receiver, pretty much our wide receiver 1, you could say. We had like 3 wide receiver 1s that were all wide receiver 3s. But, Darius Slayton at number 3, I mean, that's kind of scary with his route running and his ability to get open. You just can't ignore anybody on this wide receiver court. Now, I think we're overrating it a little bit as far as the actual talents of these guys. But I think in the combination of everybody, they just offer so much. And then Tony has that pace change guy that you're going to be able to just have a spark and do something kind of like Odell was. But Odell had that elite route running and that elite, speed. it's gonna be fun to watch. And I didn't mention really about Sterling Shepard. We kind of know lead at whip routes. He's a dependable guy for Daniel Jones. He's gonna be the guy like, okay, where's Sterling? Like I need a completion here to get things going a little bit. Where's Sterling? Where's Sterling's at? I can rely on him if things get bad or whatever. He's gonna be that guy. He knows he can trust. And they've played 3 years together now, along with Darius Slayton. But I feel like they have a pretty good connection, especially in the red zone. And he'll be searching for him too. But hope you guys did enjoy this video. Let me know what you guys think. What are you expecting from the Giants receiver core? I think it's Sterling Shepard. He's gonna have like 75% completion percentage, like usual. I think they have a pretty good connection there. I kind of miss the Eli Manning Odell connection. I was watching like a video of the commercial that they made. I'm like, that was such a good freaking connection. And we kind of took it for advantage, and that's what we're hoping Daniel Jones is with Kenny Golladay, because we were missing that. And it feels like every other quarterback has it, but we don't. But this video has gone on for a while. Let me know what you guys think about everything I discussed in this video, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye, guys.